Sometimes you don't want to create a new brush, but what you want to do is save out a commonly used variation of one of your old brushes. And what Photoshop calls these are tool presets, not to be confused with brush presets. Now, this may sound confusing, but it's an incredibly handy feature, and oftentimes it's overlooked. Think about it like you're using colored pencils. Let's say at your desk you've got a dull blue colored pencil and a sharp black colored pencil. Well, those are essentially variations of the base colored pencil. They behave in very much the same way. The only difference is the color and the size of the tip, how sharp it is. So let's do that inside of Photoshop. We'll start here with that textured pencil brush that we made, and we'll make it light blue. In order to make that dull look, I'm going to lower the flow to about 20% and give it a nice wide brush. Nice wide diameter. Okay, so I could call this similar to that dull blue colored pencil. Well, I save that in Window, Tool Presets, and you can see here I've checked the Current Tool Only checkbox. And what that does is it hides a lot of the clutter that I don't need to see. So I'll click the New Tool Preset, and I'll call this Dull Colored Pencil Blue. And I'm including the color, and that's the only checkbox you can see visible right now. So I say, all right. Well, now what if I want to make that black sharper pencil? So I'll start with the same textured pencil brush. This time I'll make it black. I'll increase the flow, and I'll change that diameter to make it real small. Okay, so that's a bit more like a sharper pencil. So I'll make another tool preset. Sharp colored pencil, black. Include color, okay. Now you notice that both of these started as the exact same brush, and I never opened the brush panel. What I've just done is I've created two tool presets that are variations of the brush that we've already made. So to prove what just happened, I'm going to pick a random color, sort of a pink here, and start painting with it. Now all I have to do is click once on either of these tool presets, and it will pull up all of those settings. Dull colored pencil blue is exactly how we created it. Sharp colored pencil black, just how we want it. Now I don't have any extra brushes. All I've done is set aside a brush with a combination of color, diameter, flow, and opacity, and save that out as a preset variation. So depending on what your project is, you might be able to have a very limited set of tools. So while even though you may have a giant set of brushes or brush presets to work with, you might just be doing a pencil drawing. For this project, saving out a couple tool presets will allow you to quickly switch back and forth between maybe some blue sketching, and then on a different layer, some sharp pencil lines. And doing it this way will really keep the clutter out of your window. And you can quickly switch back and forth between a few tools that you're using just for this project. Another great use of this feature is when you really like the way one of your brushes operates with certain settings. So back to this textured pencil here. Maybe I don't like it with 100% flow, and I almost always like it with 15% flow, like that. Well, then I could save that out as a brush preset. And then even if I were painting with normal brushes that were at 100% flow, doing my normal rendering, but then I wanted that brush that's always at 15%. Well, then I can just click on that tool preset, and there it is. Sometimes it's nice to have a pair. You make a brush preset that defines a lot about the brush, and then accompany it with a tool preset that changes the flow, or maybe the color. You know, it's possible you have a sketching brush that you always like to have a certain shade of brown. Especially if you're used to traditional media, this might feel very natural in your workflow. So it's worth taking some time and experimenting with this, because the often overlooked tool presets can really save you a ton of time and remove a lot of clutter from your workflow.